God with his arm around his girlfriend, his consort, Shekinah, the red-headed woman, who is Mary Magdalene, who is Diana, who is Sophia, who is Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Manly Hall says that there are exactly 72 stones that make up the broken or unfinished pyramid on the back of the $1 bill, which is like the great seal of the United States of America. I tell you that our country and the symbolisms of our country are so steeped in the occult. Where else would you build a new world order but in the new world? But notice that we have the unfinished pyramid, the 72 stones, and then we have the finished part, which is the illumination, which is the God of this world, Lucifer himself, and they are fused together, which is also a symbol of three-strand DNA. You remember the movie National Treasure? I'm telling you, the movie National Treasure was just like steeped in all this symbolism. I believe that familiar spirits helped write this movie and show you all this symbolism. Remember that when it dawned on them that the location, the map to the secret was written on a document, and it had been stored in secret in a place that is known by everybody in this country. It was stored on the back of the Declaration of Independence, which is stored at the National Archives building, which is a temple which just happens to have, by some freak accident of architecture, exactly 72 pillars. Here is a graphic from a manual on the Kabbalah written in 1652 called Oedipus Egyptiacus. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Oedipus Egyptiacus. Here's the graphic. Here we have the Hebrew rendering and different occult renderings of the 72 names. And I want you to notice this big circle here with this emblazonment in the middle, IHS, which is Isis, Horus, and Seb together. The Egyptian Trinity, which is the sons of God, daughters of men, and their child being birthed there. It's the same thing that you get with a square and compass. That's what IHS is. And if you've seen that in Catholic churches and or other churches, that's exactly where it came from. But I want you to compare here. We have this circle with 72 sections in it, and this emblazonment of the God in the middle. That is exactly what you see in the Capitol Rotunda. Here you have what's called the apotheosis of George Washington. George Washington represents the new America, the new world order. He is apotheosized, which means the man has been turned into a god. He is surrounded by 13 goddesses, which is a relationship to Mystery Babylon the Great, the spirit of whoredoms, and the spirit of witchcraft that exist in this country. And oh, by the way, this is where our health care bill is going to be passed. Right under this, the joining of the two houses together, that's what our health care bill represents. And here you have George Washington, the God, and then you have 72 pentagrams, stars, that are surrounding this thing. I'm going to show you the comparison of the old graphic from the old book there on the Kabbalah, and then I'll show you this again. And boy, I'll tell you what, I think there is a spirit that is invading our country. Now remember, I said that in this apotheosis graphic you have 13 women which represent Mystery Babylon the Great, the spirit of whoredoms, and the spirit of witchcraft. Remember, Jezebel is a type of Mystery Babylon in the Bible, and she is a witch. So I want you to think about this. We're going to go to the 72nd chapter of the Bible. And guess what it says? Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. I'm telling you that God is against the spirit of whoredoms that exists in this country. And as long as this country follows after that spirit of whoredoms and witchcraft, by all these symbols and all these statues and all these gods and goddesses everywhere, this nation will fall one of these days. I also found this out. The Catholic Bible, which is not a King James Bible. Here you have the Catholic Bible, and you have what we have, 66 books, but they threw in some others. 6 others. So instead of 66 books in the Catholic Bible, you have 72. That's what that means. Okay? We're getting some understanding here. The sacred name invoking God. And I will tell you that there is, if you're looking for an organization that is promoting Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, on this earth, you need to look no further than the Roman Catholic Church. And this has been pushed for years, but right now there's a group of cardinals, not St. Louis Cardinals, there's a group of cardinals in the Vatican right now that is trying to get the Pope and the College of the Cardinals to officially recognize the Virgin Mary as being co-redemptrix, which basically means that Jesus plus Mary, his mom, who he has to do what she says, is going to be the Redeemer of mankind. This is apostasy, folks. This is blasphemy. Don't go for all this. Now, here's something else that I knew about a long time ago. Now it's starting to make sense. Because here we have in our King James, Luke chapter 10, verse 1, after these things the Lord appointed other 70 also. This is the sending out of the 70 disciples. Now this is a picture of the last days when the gospel is going to be preached to the entire world, and then the end shall come. Then Christ is going to bring in His kingdom on the earth. The seventh day, the seventh millennium, the 1,000 years, all of these numbers join together. That's what the 70 disciples represent. The King James Bible says that. Take a look at your NIV or maybe your other modern translation. In the NIV it says, and after this the Lord appointed 72. Why is there a difference? Why is there a difference? Why that number in relation to everything else that we've seen? It relates to the invocation of the God of this world in the last days. Remember, here we have an earthquake, waves going out, the earth shaking. Here we have the concept of the resurrection of the deity, which is Osiris and Bacchus and Dionysus, and which is all about the coming forth of the Antichrist from the sea in the last days. And now we find out that it's on longitude 72. Washington, D.C. is on its own longitude line. I've done talks in our video, The Babel Conspiracy, about the 33rd parallel and all the things that take place on that. JFK being shot there and so on and so on. And here we have this symbolism of this longitude. These two earthquakes spaced this many days apart on this particular longitude. I'm telling you, the Illuminati signature is right on top of this thing. And we're looking at the advent of something that is maybe just around the corner. Again, we go to the Bible for understanding. We go to the Scriptures. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, Solomon wanted to know wisdom, and he said, "This I have found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find the account." Revelation, that's the 666th chapter of the Bible, by the way. Revelation chapter 13, we have, "Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number." And his number is 603 So here we have two verses in the Bible, one Old Testament, one New Testament. They both tell us to count, and they're both associated with the exact same number. So let's count some things in the Bible. Remember a while ago when we said that the phrase "the devil" is mentioned exactly 46 times in the King James Bible. There are other names for the devil in the Bible.